It's a struggle that happens in the quietest hours of the night, a battle fought on pillows and under blankets. For many, it's more than just a bad night, it's a disorder that can affect every part of their lives. Life can be a grind with alarm clocks, deadlines, work demands, family needs. We get jacked up on stimulants just to get through the day. Coffee and energy drinks are abundant. Everything is so fast-paced. Communication is instant, food is convenient, shopping is quick. Everything's at our fingertips. And as for sleep, well, life's just too busy to sleep. But it's a trap. As we strive for more, we actually achieve less. Sleep is the foundation of mental health and physical health. Lack of sleep doesn't just leave you tired. It can fuel anxiety and depression. When you're sleep deprived, your brain struggles to manage emotions, making you moodier and more stressed. It also raises stress hormones, which can worsen anxiety and negative thinking. And the cycle goes both ways. Anxiety and depression can keep you from sleeping well too. This is the story of insomnia. Meet Sarah, a 35-year-old graphic designer. To the outside world, she's successful and energetic. But for the past 2 years, Sarah has been hiding a secret. Sarah's story isn't unique. In fact, it's a reality for millions. But why is a condition so common, so often underestimated?
And that's surprising to me because sleep is not the third pillar of good health. It's actually the foundation on which those two other things sit.
Thanks a lot, Mary and Chris. Patients with insomnia that persists over a year have 30 times the risk of developing depression compared to the insomniac who gets treatment.
You've probably heard people say, "I'm so tired, I barely slept last night." It's a common complaint, but when does it cross the line from a rough night to a medical condition? We all have a poor night's sleep from time to time. Those nights when you lie awake for hours trying desperately to go to sleep, but can't stop worrying about tomorrow. Or when you repeatedly wake up throughout the night, or can't get back to sleep in the early hours of the morning. 1/3 of the world's population experience short-term sleeping difficulties. These usually last only a few weeks, but for an unlucky 3% of Australians, these sleep disturbances may last a lot longer and lead to a diagnosis of insomnia. Insomnia is often brushed aside compared to other health issues. We see it as a personal failing, a lack of discipline, rather than a legitimate health problem. But the truth is, chronic insomnia is a real medical condition with serious consequences. These days, life moves fast. We're juggling long work hours, bills, school, exercise, friends, and endless deadlines. By the time we crash at night, it's often in front of the TV, falling asleep on the couch. Our eating habits suffer too, skipping meals, grabbing fast food, eating on the run. But here's the catch. All this hustle and sleep loss takes a toll. It weakens our memory, kills creativity, makes problem solving harder, and even raises the risk of brain diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Oh, and yes, it also makes us gain weight. But what is actually happening inside your brain when you just can't fall asleep? To understand insomnia, we need to look at what's happening inside your head. Your brain has a natural sleep-wake cycle, kind of like an internal clock. For people with insomnia, this system can be out of whack. Their brains may show more activity in areas that control arousal and emotion, even when they're trying to sleep. This can be caused by an imbalance in brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which can lead to a loss of motivation, and even feelings of depression. This always-on brain isn't a new problem. In fact, humans have been wrestling with sleeplessness for thousands of years. What did our ancestors do without sleeping pills? To get to the truth about sleep, we first need to go back in time, before things went so horribly wrong. Long before we had sleep labs and medication, our ancestors had their own ways of dealing with sleepless nights.
Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to heart attacks, stroke, obesity. It impairs ADD and...
Sleep deprivation is literally a form of torture. Roman consul Marcus Atilius Regulus is allegedly the first person in recorded history to die of insomnia. In about 256 BCE, he was handed over to Rome's enemies, the Carthaginians,
who apparently tortured him to death. They did this by amputating his eyelids and forcing him to stare at the sun. As horrible as this sounds, the legend doesn't stand up. There are no reliable accounts of how Regulus died. But even though sleep deprivation torture may not have killed Regulus, it continues to be used in many countries today. In ancient Greece, if you couldn't sleep, you might visit a sanatorium dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine, for soothing music and meditation. Ancient Egyptians used opium to help with sleep.
Interestingly, the idea of sleeping in one solid block of 8 hours is a relatively modern concept. Historical records show that people used to have a first and second sleep, with a period of wakefulness in between to pray, read, or visit with family. The term insomnia itself only emerged in the late 18th century, as our lifestyles became more structured and demanding. Our modern lives are non-stop. Work, school, deadlines, fast food, screens. It's no wonder we're all exhausted. But sleep isn't just about rest. Without it, your brain struggles to solve problems, remember things, and protect itself from diseases like Alzheimer's.
We also know that two sleep disorders, including insomnia and sleep apnea or heavy snoring, are associated with a significantly higher risk of Alzheimer's disease in late life.
Looking at 70 adults, average age of 76, researchers found that those who had poor sleep quality had more of a buildup in the brain of a protein associated with Alzheimer's called amyloid beta.
So it's what we would call a positive feedback loop, we think. Where sleep gets worse, you have more amyloid. You get more amyloid, you have worse sleep.
So what changed? To understand that, let's go back in time. Before electricity, people lived by sunlight. Wake with the sun, relax by candlelight, and fall asleep as darkness set in. No overhead lights, no phones, no alarms. Why did sleep come so naturally back then? Because of your brain's internal clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which relies on light and temperature signals to control sleep hormones. Morning sunlight, especially the blue light in it, triggers the release of cortisol, waking you up and setting a timer for melatonin later. But at night, we mess that up. Screens emit that same blue light, tricking the brain into staying alert. No wonder sleep is harder today. Thankfully, apps that block blue light or simply stepping outside in the morning can reset your body clock. But here's the part most people miss. Temperature also sets your sleep rhythm. Your brain needs your core body temperature to drop by 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit to fall asleep. That's why a cool room helps. Wearing socks in bed can block heat release from your feet, disrupting this drop. Even hot showers help by forcing your body to cool down afterwards.
And it's not just theory. Tribes in Namibia still sleep naturally, not right after sunset, but when the land cools. In our modern, temperature-controlled lives, we rarely feel that drop, so our brains miss the signal. The fix? Lower your bedroom temp and ditch the socks, or have a hot shower before bed. Foods like bone broth or collagen may also help. They contain glycine, which relaxes blood vessels and helps cool the body. But even if light and temperature are managed, there's another big disruptor: caffeine. Caffeine blocks adenosine, a natural chemical that builds up during the day to make you sleepy. Too much caffeine, especially late in the day, reduces deep restorative sleep by up to 20%. So while you're asleep, your brain isn't truly resting. Limit caffeine to mornings, at least 8 hours before bed. And yet millions rely on caffeine to start the day and sleeping pills to end it. But sleeping pills don't give you natural sleep. They knock you out, more like sedation than restoration. Real sleep is a biological process. If you want to unlock true rest and better health, you need to work with your body, not override it. As our understanding of the body and mind grew, so did our understanding of a powerful connection, the link between our sleep and our mental health. The relationship between insomnia and mental health is a bit like the chicken and the egg. It's hard to tell which came first. About half of the people with chronic insomnia also have a mental health condition, like anxiety or depression.
For people with mental illness, unfortunately, as many as 80% of patients with major depression, 77% of people with bipolar disorder also report sleep problems.
In fact, people with insomnia are 5 times more likely to develop depression. It can create a vicious cycle that's hard to break. This might sound bleak, but what if there are ways to break this cycle? Can we actually fix our sleep? The good news is you don't have to just live with insomnia. There are proven strategies that can help you get the rest you need. First, let's talk about sleep hygiene. This means creating a routine that tells your body it's time to sleep. But for many with chronic insomnia, sleep hygiene isn't enough. That's where a powerful therapy comes in. CBTI is a type of therapy that helps you change the thoughts and behaviors that are keeping you awake. It's so effective that it's recommended as the first-line treatment for chronic insomnia, even over medication.
The American College of Physicians says
cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia is an effective treatment that can be initiated in the primary care setting. Although we have insufficient evidence to directly compare cognitive behavioral therapy to drug treatment for insomnia, it is clear that cognitive behavioral therapy is likely less harmful to patients.
The principal treatment for insomnia should not be the first-line defense of sleeping pills that we discussed in the last episode. The current recommendation is something called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI.
We're also seeing exciting new research into things like light therapy, acupuncture, and even digital apps that can deliver CBTI. Beyond the science and the therapies, some also see a deeper meaning in sleeplessness. From a spiritual perspective, some believe that insomnia can be a sign that your subconscious mind is trying to process deep-seated issues, or that you're more receptive to spiritual insights during these quiet hours. Practices like mindfulness meditation can help you calm your nervous system and become more aware of these inner stirrings. The Bible even speaks of using wakeful hours for prayer and reflection. Let's return to Sarah. After months of struggling, she decided to seek help. Sarah's story shows us that recovery is possible. We've learned that insomnia is more than just feeling tired. It's a complex condition with deep roots in our biology, our history, and our minds. We've seen how it's underestimated and the serious impact it can have on our mental health. But most importantly, we've seen that there is hope. From ancient wisdom to modern science, the tools to reclaim our nights are within our reach. Because sleep isn't just rest. It's the foundation of life.